Long, long ago, in our lore, there was a prophecy of a rogue that was said to destroy the world. What the prophecy didn't say was how soon. Boo! Did I scare you? I hope I did. Yeah, Rogue is back, baby. Rogue never left, but Rogue is even better than ever today. What's going on, guys? Daily Wolf here, back with another video. Don't mind that cringy ass intro, but today we're going to be going over the new buffs for the ultimate abilities. Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there was just a little bit of a patch update, buff slash nerf. You tell me what you think about it in the comments. You know, I've heard a lot of warriors complaining about, oh, I'm not that OP anymore. That's right, you're balanced. Welcome to the club. But that's besides the point, guys. All right. Today we're gonna be going over the buff for Rogue. All right. I redid my maps, like I remapped my skills, everything like that. Redid the skill tree, all that stuff. And you know what I'm here to do? I'm here to get you right. Don't worry, guys. I'm here to get you right, all right? So, let's get started with the skills, all right? Let's get started with the skills. So, for the skills for Shadow Pierce, I'm not going to explain it. I'm going to leave it on screen for a little bit. Y'all can just copy it down if you want, okay? So, we got the Shadow Pierce. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. We got the aimed shot. We'll give it a couple seconds. Then we're going to go ahead and go over to the Razor Shield. Of course, probably one of the best abilities for Rogue in game by far. Alright. You can't tell me otherwise. Alright, last one, Noxus Bolt. Alright. So, again, if you're wanting to do those, just go ahead and pause them on screen. You can copy them down as we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over to the passives. We're going to go ahead and explain it. Passives, basically use everything. Don't use the gold loot. Don't use the pickup radius. Do not use the pet XP, and do not use the focus loot drop. Alright. Those four things, useless. Alright. Me personally, I ain't never going to use them. Alright. Then we're going to go into the masteries. Masteries, you're just going to do 3 out of 3, or 3 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Alright, easy enough. Once you're all done with that, that should leave you with, this is for level 91, by the way. Alright, let me just put that out there. It's for level 91. Once you put all those things in, you should have exactly 10 points left, and that will get you the Frenzy upgrade. Alright, so the Frenzy ultimate skill, you gain 3x dex value. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Rogue has never had this crazy of a increase in ultimate skills. The ultimate skills were always health, speed, and the Tri-Bolt, which that just shot 3 big arrows at the boss and did hella damage, right? But now guess what? You don't need to shoot those 3 arrows anymore because you could do hella damage with just your set, alright? 3x your dex value with 50% speed, so you get the speed stacking, so it's still super nice. All right, now as much as I'd love to show you guys this, how much damage I'm gonna do on hydra and stuff like that, since it is an ultimate skill, you're not gonna be able to use it in leaderboard hydra or anything like that, unless you end up basically fighting him, just hitting him enough times until your ultimate skill charges. And then once it's charged, you kill yourself or whatever, respawn back in, and then run back up and fight him there. Right, but we're not going to do that because that takes way too long. What we are going to do is run through Dune. Now, y'all have seen me run through Dune before. You know, it's not too hard. It's not too crazy, that is, but for me. But we're going to go ahead and do that. I actually have not swapped. I've been playing a lot on my phone. I haven't actually hopped on my PC in a bit to play the game. So I'm going to swap this back over to... I think I had this one as my sap and then this one as my ghostly. But I don't even use my ghostly anymore. Probably should, but I don't. But let's guys can see, we got the SB set, we got the new proc set. You guys see that I got question marks next to it, and then we got the damage set at the very end, because this new damage set, let me tell you, if you guys haven't seen my YouTube shorts, it does do a lot of damage. All right, now, do I go over the set now, or do I save it for another video? I guess you guys will have to stay tuned for that. All right, so I guess you'll never know when I actually go over the set, if I go over it in this video, if I go over in the next video. But I will like to say, let me go ahead and, just because I got the closest leaderboard here, all right, I would like to give a special shout out to the one and only, where is he at? The one and only Steph Crit. If you guys don't know who he is, he's one of the top rogues in the game. Very nice guy, but he's the one that hooked me up with the set information and stuff like that, to go ahead and build this and be able to do this much damage. But he went ahead and gave me the information on his set, and he basically, some of the items that he uses I don't have, so he gave me better alternatives for it. But he's also a very knowledgeable person on this game. You all know that I was just really focused on basically doing as much damage as possible in a short amount of time, but I also like seeing numbers, right? I do like seeing the numbers, so I do build a lot of damage sets instead of proc sets. But he definitely got me right. Again, special shout out to that man. Again, very nice guy. If you ever get the chance to talk to him, I would do so. But I'm not saying PM him every 2 seconds. All right, guys. Do not flood him like you guys message me, right? I love when you guys message me, because you know it's always fun to chat it up with a couple of you guys every once in a while. But yeah, some people don't like to get spammed, and that's the last thing that I want to see, is him get spammed and then me get blamed for it. All right, but super nice guy. Again, if you ever get into a game with him, he is an OP guy. But yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead, and I need to make a ghost party real quick. We're gonna make a ghost party. If you guys have seen me do it a million times. If you're not sure how to make a ghost party, just go to your party screen, go to invite players, type in some random letters, click enter. It'll say unable to find player, and then you're in a ghost party, right? So let's go ahead and go into Dune. You guys are gonna see me use the set while I'm running through though, because this set is what I use now. I do sometimes just swap it back to my old proc blood set, but I don't use it all the time anymore. It's still a good set, don't get me wrong, but this set's so much fun to use. Like, I actually enjoy it, because I gotta like proc 2 different sets and do all this extra crazy shit. But you can see it just like wipes everything. We're gonna go ahead and run it back. Oh, and then I just popped my SV. Whoops. That's gonna offset my procs a little bit, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and wait a couple seconds. Yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's just wait for those let's wait for those procs to go down a little bit. Alright. Here we go. Oh, there wasn't that many enemies here anyways. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna go in and kill the boss real quick. I'm not gonna show you how to I'm not gonna show you the I'm not going to show you how much damage it does on this boss, just because he doesn't have that much HP anyways. You can kind of get a look at it. We did about 900 DPS, 900 mil DPS, but that's just because the enemies were down here and stuff like that. So I was getting more hits off. This is the boss that I'm going to show you on though, because he is super with his shield. If you guys didn't get that reference, Frankie from One Piece. If you haven't seen One Piece, go watch it. I don't want to hear nothing about commitment issues, alright? I had lots of commitment issues with my first girlfriend. Dang, I'm not getting anything to proc right now. That's crazy. That was a horrible proc cycle. That's okay. We're just gonna let the stuff cool down again, and then we'll run through. Yeah, let's just take a moment to talk about the YouTube channel, guys. So I did have a lot of. I basically want to just say thank you. I know you guys hear me say it in like a bunch of my videos and stuff like that, but it really does mean a lot for me, for you guys to basically just come out, show your love and support for the YouTube videos. I always get a bunch of positive comments. You guys come talk to me in game and stuff like that. Tell me that I helped you guys out a lot, and you know, honestly, that's what I'm here for, right? I want to see. I want to see everybody succeed in the game, and it's pretty cool to know that I am at least making an impact to some of you guys. But yeah, I appreciate all the love and support as always on the videos and or in game. And yeah, if you guys do want to actually see me play other games, I know I've mentioned it in live streams and stuff like that, but let me know if you guys want to see me play other games. I'm always down to try something new and stuff like that, all right? But yeah, just never thought we'd get this far, and we're on our way to 500 subscribers. I think that's badass. We're building a little Arcane Legends army, guys. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the boss. So let me reset my damage and stuff like that, and then basically how I'm gonna do it, right? So I'm gonna proc my SB for the Cosmic Killer. As soon as I get that, I'm gonna swap to this set, right, which is my first proc set, and then I'm going to pop this ability. As I'm full charging my proc set, I'm gonna pop the proc set, swap to this set, which is my second proc set, then I'm gonna pop the pet ability along with the boss ability. Okay, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be able to get what I want to show you guys on screen, and if not, I'm going to pull up a photo of what one of my buddies screenshotted earlier from when we were running together, testing out the new set. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and just go in with it. Like I said, we're just going to pop the Cosmic Killer, and then we're gonna pop this, and then swap to this, and then oh, whoops. I guess my damage gets knocked down, but that's because I decided to look at it too late. You can see we almost killed him in one full proc, which is kind of funny. I don't think I've ever been able to like fully one proc kill him before, but it's still kind of cool to see. I guess I could just get stunned there, call it a day. I guess I should have looked at this, the maximum DPS for when I did that first set of attacks, because it just kind of reset it, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and run through it again. Open the gate. Adon, please. I'm trying to go kill some people. Not people, monsters, guys. I'm trying to kill monsters. Calm down. All right, here we go. Run through, grab, boom, boom. I've also found like a hidden love for the Frostfire pet. I already know that he was really good to begin with, but he's definitely something else. He's so strong. Yeah, you can just... This is why you run the Razor Shield. You see me get like slowed down from like the stun or whatever, and then I literally just pop the Razor Shield and I'm just back in the game. I need all my procs to be on cycle. That's why I'm just cycling. See how I'm able to swap to my speed set and get to the next set of enemies still with the Blood Arty's like so hit or miss though. It's so good, but at the same time I've had so many instances where the Blood Arty just never wants to proc, and it just is such a bad time. Alright, cool. So this boss is a little annoying with his little stab ability, because if you don't proc like a shield or anything fast enough, you basically like perma-stun your ass and just keep you locked down. But we're gonna try to do it. gonna try to get this shown off. All right, so we're just gonna go in with Razor Shield first, and then we're gonna proc, boom, boom, boom. Look at that damage. That's off a boss that doesn't even have a shield. 1.4 billion. I almost did 2 bill damage to him. Wait, I don't know if I cleared my damage right before I fought him. But still, the maximum DPS goes based off of what your most recent set of attacks was. And 1.4 billion is an insane amount. Right. Now, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when I'm using it on Leaderboard Hydra. So, Leaderboard Hydra, this is like me without using the ability. You can see we're just absolutely destroying him. Like, look, without the actual ability down here, you can see I only hit up to basically just under 1.1 bill. But with the ability with the ultimate activated, I was hitting about 1.4, and that's on a boss without any shields, not leaderboard run, anything like that. But it's super good. Now, another thing that I was also wanting to show you guys is if none of you have yet to do your 20 stack on Cursewood, there might be a little way for you to basically finesse the way that the systems or the stuff set up. There might be a way for you to set up the the curse selection to allow you to use your ultimate ability. And if so, you would definitely be able to kill the boss if you're not doing enough damage. Or honestly, one other thing too, if you're just stuck on the Among the Giants, I would definitely recommend using this ability, right? So again, I want to show you what it looks like on Among the Giants so you guys can kind of like get an idea of if it's doable. I would definitely say that it is by far one of the best abilities I've probably seen in game, especially for Rogue. But yeah, you definitely just do so much damage. It's absolutely insane. If you guys haven't seen my video on how to do the Among the Giants curse either, definitely go recommend watching that. Very informative. I definitely went over like 2 or 3 different sets in that video to show you. I've done the full blood way. I think I did a Kraken bow way. And then I also think I did a Kraken daggers. If I didn't do a Kraken daggers, I definitely did the Kraken bow though. But yeah, we'll go ahead and show you what it looks like again. So he likes to run away sometimes. Oh, I had the wrong set on. Okay, that's fine. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna wait for him to reset. We're just gonna reset everything. If I can get away without dying. We're just gonna wait for everything to reset. Get him to run his fat ass over here. Unless he wants to shoot his little things at me. Yeah, he does. Alright, that's fine. We're just waiting for the panda to cool down. Yeah, let's go ahead and I guess we'll get our proc started up here. Like, look at that. Look at that damage. We killed him in 1 proc, mind you guys. We killed him in 1 proc. Among the Giants. We almost did 2 bill damage. That's more damage than one of my runs that I did with the my buddy. So that is absolutely insane. So one thing I'm going to show you basically what he was spectating or what he was looking at with when he was basically inspecting my body. So you had my dexterity almost all the way up to 18,000, and then my bonus damage, it was at 9,000%, and then my critical percentage, like again, this critical percentage don't even matter as like once you hit 100% anyways, but it's crazy to see that it's still going up to like 500%. But you can see my damage literally hits 4 million. 4 million damage off that screen, and then if you look at the maximum DPS, I did 1.3 billion damage to him with a total, or DPS, sorry, with a total of 1.8 billion damage. Which is absolutely insane. But you could also see, like, look at my total crit damage. My total crit damage was literally 1.84, and then my total damage was 1.843. So literally 3 mil of my damage wasn't from crits at all, but the rest of it was. But yeah, no, it's absolutely insane, guys. When I tell you it is probably gonna be a must need when you run stuff now, I would probably say so. I'm definitely gonna start using it. Y'all know I don't use ultimate abilities ever, so I'm surprised I'm able to, you know, get the proc wave down, like clicking up here, click it down, going to this, clicking this, down, you know, doing all that extra stuff. Again, there might be a couple extra steps you have to do, but at the end of the day, it's all gonna be worth it because you're just gonna be outputting so much more damage. All right. Now, again, I hope all of this was informational for you guys. If you want my take, I would recommend using it. It's definitely well worth. You're gonna get a lot of bang for your buck, even though, you know, don't really cost anything except 10 skill points. All right, but we will go ahead and show you the sets now. I know I said I might do it in another video, but if you guys did stick around this far, you get to see the new set, right? This is what I'm running. Steph Crit is running, again, he's running something a little bit different from me, but again, shout out to him for helping me out with this set, but I tried tweaking it a little bit to my taste, but he definitely knows how to build stuff, and I'll give credit where it's due. Very smart man. But what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go ahead with the new proc set and what I use. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, get your pens and papers out. All right, I'm gonna put you on just like you put me on. Now y'all are gonna be a little bit confused potentially, and I will say a couple of the pieces up here are a little bit harder to come across, but honestly, it's not too bad, right? So with the weapon, you can see Kraken bow. This is the gravy on the mashed potatoes right here. This Kraken bow. All right. Now, if none of you have used the Kraken bow or are familiar with it, it is a older weapon. It's been in the game for a couple years now. Used to be super, like, it used to be used all the time until they started releasing all this new stuff. But basically what it does is it gives you 10% crit damage and then 15% boss damage, which that alone is pretty decent for a like base stat on a weapon and not the actual like proc. But if you guys aren't familiar with the physical proc itself, if you land a charged attack, you apply the killer current proc multiple targets in range. So when you seen I was procking it in Dune, it was hitting multiple enemies. That's what that's talking about. But it basically hits multiple enemies or one target, aka the boss, and it'll deal a shit ton of debuffs to them. So you can see right here it says debuff does heavy damage and reduces your target's armor by 75% for 8 seconds. And then it also says when the current killer proc activates, you also gain an 8-second buff, which gives you haste 25%, attack damage 100%, and then an additional 50% boss damage. And then you also get 25% speed stacking in PvE. Now, obviously, if you wear like the Kraken belt or anything like that, you can get a couple more buffs on here, which you can see 25% more boss damage, stuff like that. But we're not too worried about the Kraken belt stuff as of right now. We're just more focused on like the proc with the damage per se. So And then the charge attacks, like I was saying, hit multiple enemies at a time. So, okay, crack and bow for your proc. You see, I don't really even have like crazy jewels on these three things because we'll get into the ring in a bit. All right, don't worry about it. We'll get into the ring in a bit, but we don't have jewels on these just because this is used for a proc set. The only thing I'd probably really put on at least these three items are gonna be like armor jewels or something like that, just so you could stay alive, or like goblin guard stones, anything that gives leech, something like that, just to kind of boost your health up a little bit more. Okay. Now for the helmet, given Rogue Veilblade Assassin helmet. Reasoning for it, if you guys haven't seen my previous videos on it, 25 primary stat, 25% lethality, 25% damage resistance, 25% damage stacking, and 2.2x speed. So super good for when it procs. Again, super unreliable if it does, like if it's you're trying to get it to proc, kind of like the Blood Arty, but when it does proc, super good. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the Bloodstar armor proc, are you living under a rock? No, I'm kidding. The Bloodstar armor gives you 4,000 health, 400 primary stat, 3x damage, and reflects 2,000 of incoming damage. So with this, not only are you getting the 3x damage from this, you're also getting the 25% damage stacking on top of, if you scroll all the way down to the bow, on top of an extra 100% damage stacking. And then for the belt, we're just going to be using the Veilblade Assassin belt. Reasoning for the Veilblade Assassin belt is just because it's not necessarily a useful slot. Again, you could probably swap the Kraken bow, or sorry, the Kraken belt out for the Veilblade Assassin, but it gives you a huge stat boost to have the Veilblade pieces on, right? And you can see that I just have like elite damage, damage stacking, 3% dex on it, stuff like that. But you do get 5% crit damage, which is nice off the belt, so it does kind of add into it a little bit. You can see we're not actually running 3 out of 3 Veil, but the belt does have a chance to increase your haste by 10% for 8 seconds. So onto the bread and butter, and honestly, you don't really need this ring. It's just nice to have. You could use other alternatives, which I could show you I'll show you guys in a little bit, but the Sovereign Starfire Band. So you can obviously see it is a all-class ring, so it doesn't matter which one you get, just as long as you're able to get one. But the reasoning for this is because you get that 10% boss damage when it's equipped. You also get 5% armor when it's equipped as well. So off the initial first proc, you're going to be doing just a little bit more damage. But basically what it does is it gives you a plus 100 primary stat and 15% to non-boss damage for 7 seconds. So you don't really care about the ring per se for the non-boss damage. It's the plus 100 to the primary stat that you're looking for, because stacking this on top of all of this stuff and then swapping to your next set, it's going to be basically OD damage, right? So on to the next piece. We're going to be going, I use the flamethrower. Now the reasoning for this, okay, before you guys ask me why are you using a useless ass pendant in a set, is because I'm getting to it. All right, there is a little method per se, and you don't want an amulet to proc on this set. You want it to proc on the next set that I will be getting into. Okay. So like I was saying, this is the initial set, and then you'll get into the actual bomb set. If you guys see me with my my sections for like my slots on my hotbars, it says bomb. It's because of the next set. So you want an amulet that doesn't have a proc on it at all, because you don't want your amulet to proc. Okay. Then we're going to do the Bloodstar artifact. Of course, the reasoning for this is because enemies lose 75% of their movement speed and 50% of their damage while they remain within the Cyclone Grasp. But on top of that,
you get the Bloodstar Cyclone, and then you also get 10% crit damage and 10 damage, stuff like that. So you'll need the Bloodstar artifact for it, and then the Immortal Crit Bracelet. Now again, like I was saying in my previous videos, the Immortal Crit Bracelet, I think it's making a better comeback than, you know, but it gives you that 20% crit damage and that 15% armor. So getting this to proc an extra 20% crit damage on top of all of the other buffs that come through on you, right? But this is the first proc set. Now the second proc set is called, I call it the Bomb. Now I think Steph Curry calls it the Bomb too, but it's because you're literally dropping a fucking nuke on the enemies. All right, now the weapon itself doesn't matter, it just needs to be some type of blood weapon. Okay, reasoning for that is because you can obviously see the pendant changes, right? Wow, we got the blood medallion on there. Who would have thought it was going to be on the set? Everybody, because the blood pendant with a blood weapon is probably one of the best mixtures for Rogue, at least in the game right now, just because you're able to freaking drop a nuke on the enemies, right? So again, any one of the 3 blood weapons on top of the blood pendant. Now again, for this we're just going to be doing as much damage as possible, but you can see we're going to go blood, veil blade, blood, veil blade, veil blade, and then blood, blood, immortal. Now you guys are seeing, oh, you're using the veil blade assassin ring, I thought you said it was bad, some stuff like that in the veil blade review. Yes, at the time of recording the video, the reason why the ring was so ass is because they didn't update it, or it was broken. You'd think with this much time of releasing gear, you know, we would, you know, things wouldn't be broken on release, but it was. Thankfully, STS did fix it, I think, literally within the day. I recorded the video within like, I would say like 50 minutes or so of getting the ring to test it out. But yeah, no, the ring got updated, it got fixed, so it does give you your stuff now. So you can, basically when you have it equipped, you get basically healed pretty much. Restores 10% of your mana per second. If your mana is at 100%, it'll restore 10% of your health per second. So super good. Although my opinion still has not changed on the full Veilblade set. The full Veilblade set is not worth getting right now, so I don't recommend getting it. But I would still at least get yourself a 3 out of 3 set. But the helmet is a guarantee. You need to get the helmet with it. All right. And then, like I said, blood, immortal. So, boom. That is the second proc set. All right. Now, funny thing about this proc set right here, though, 9 times out of 10, you probably won't even need to swap to your damage set. You probably won't even need to swap to your damage set to kill the boss. You'll probably kill the boss with this set on, honestly. 9 times out of 10. The only time that this set is like not gonna kill the boss is if they have a shield, like a health gate, like Hedo, that rock boss on the 2nd floor, stuff like that. Okay. And then the last piece, I have basically like a new damage set. It's not necessarily, like I said, 9 times out of 10 you're not gonna even get to this set, right? So this set doesn't really matter, but you do have it just in case if they are a little bit healthy or tanky, you can swap to this set, right? You guys can see it is literally 3 out of 3 blood, and then you have veil, veil, veil. You basically have 4 veil items, and then the Hollow Shade Bracelet. Now the Hollow Shade Bracelet, it is also a non-class specific piece, but it gives you 15% crit damage, and then I was lucky enough when I was awakening stuff to get basically 20% elite damage, 10% boss damage. So hopefully whenever the elite zone for Dune drops, like they promised it was going to drop during or with the Catacombs event, it didn't, so I'm still waiting. But yeah, you can either use this bracelet, and again, if you don't have this bracelet and or can't afford it and you have the Immortal bracelet, just use the Immortal bracelet and it'll be just fine. Yeah, again, that is the set. It literally just, like I said, you literally just walk in, and 9 times out of 10, you're not even going to need to get to the second proc set. You just go boom, pop your boss ability, pop this, full charge, boom, boom. See? And like, that's not even me trying to like speed through this place, right? If I was like actually trying to like proc this stuff as fast as possible and kill the boss as fast as possible, the fastest time I ever got was 7 seconds with this set, right? I got 7 seconds. I think it was 7.880. I think was my fastest time ever ran. But I literally got perfect proc. I got Cosmic Killer to proc, and then I hit him. I didn't even full charge these. I didn't even shoot any of these abilities. I just full charged the bow like this, and it procced all my stuff first try. Swapped the damage set, pop pet, and then full charged the damage, or the bomb set for the physical boss. And it literally just absolutely obliterated it. But yeah, again, hopefully you guys did enjoy. Again, I hope you guys learned something new in this video. Again, warriors, no hate towards you guys, but you know, stay mad. You know, it must suck to get a little nerf, but that's okay. That's okay. You guys bounce back. You're still OP. You're just not as OP anymore. But yeah, again, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please consider hitting that like button and or subscribing. Again, we're on our way to 500 subscribers. I think the goal is to hit it by, I would say before I would like to say before May. Before or by May. I would love to hit 500 subscribers. And then, again, if you guys have any questions or comments, like concerns on anything, just feel free to put it in the comments and let me know. And I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. And then finally, again, special shout out to Steph Crit. He's the GOAT. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.